How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I had a guy comment on my previous video talking about this law that's coming in effect in Utah where you have to take this OHV riders online course, education course, and it's, as it says, once in a lifetime. We'll see about that. It also says 30 minutes and consists of 26 questions. I figured, why not video this and bring it to you, and we'll see what type of questions they are talking about, what type of videos, and yeah, we'll go from there. It says, beginning January 1st, 2023, Utah will require all off-highway vehicle operators to complete the Utah Off-Highway Vehicle Education course. Completion of this once-in-a-lifetime course is required under Utah Code, blah, 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 in order for you to operate an off-highway vehicle or street legal off-highway vehicle in Utah. So even if it's street legal, you need to still take the course if you're using it off-road. The purpose of this off-highway vehicle education course is to equip our operators with awareness of Utah's OHV laws and rules. Okay, so rules. Rules aren't laws, by the way. Laws are laws. Increase rider safety. I don't see how it's going to do that, but maybe. Promote respectful, sustainable, and on-trail OHV operation. Okay, that might get somebody that doesn't go to Utah much an understanding of like, hey, don't, drive on this certain soil type or what have you, Okay, that might educate somebody that isn't from Utah to learn something that they didn't know. Okay, I could see that. Promote respect for communities affected by OHV operation. Well, I would hope people do that anyways, but people are people. People drive shitty. They're going to also operate their OHVs, whether it's a dirt bike, side-by-side, ATV, Jeep, rock crawler, what have you. They're people, and some people are going to do stupid bonehead things. That's people. So I don't know if that's going to actually do anything, but okay. Completion of this course is expected to take roughly 30 minutes and consists of 26 questions that are accompanied by educational videos. Might take a little longer because I'm probably going to be talking about it as we go. Start course. Okay, I got to fill out some information. I will do this, and obviously then we'll cut to the course, right? Okay, I just clicked past my information. It says, this is the next thing you come to. It says, Utah Off-Highway Vehicle Safety. Wear your helmet. We advise everyone to wear a helmet. It can save your life. When properly worn, a helmet won't reduce vision or hearing and helps cut out wind blast. Oh, okay. A helmet is mandatory on public land for riders under the age of 18. Okay, I didn't know that, but I'm over 18, so why would I know that? Goggles, gloves, abrasion-resistant clothing, guards, and over-the-ankle boots are also highly recommended. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Be alert to oncoming traffic, especially on blind curves or in dips and crest of hills. Yeah, if it's a two-way trail, you should know about that. If you're on lower fins and things, that's one way. You shouldn't have to worry about that, but you should always expect maybe somebody turned around to get their friend or something, especially if they're on a dirt bike or an ATV, something small. But yeah, you should always do that. Be careful of that stuff. It is illegal to drive an OHV while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Yeah, you can't operate heavy machinery either, and etc., etc. I would think that's common sense, but okay. It is illegal for an operator or passenger to have an open container of alcohol in the OHV. Huh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense because you can't distinguish just like on the road who's drinking what, right? I suppose that makes sense, but I see side-by-side riders all the time with that beer and what have you. Okay. Personally, I don't care if they're in the middle of nowhere, but I'm not going to do it. A red or orange whip flag must be attached to OHVs when riding in designated sand dune areas. Okay, that's pretty common in many states, so not a big deal there. Head and tail lights must be used between sunset and sunrise. Okay, so you better, if you're a dirt bike or more like a motocross type bike, you don't have a headlight, then and you don't have a tail light, then I guess be careful, watch out, you know. But if you're on single track trails, then it's not going to be as big a deal. But we don't like riding at night anyway, so makes sense. Be sure your brakes will control and stop your OHV. In other words, make sure your equipment is in working order, right? I mean, that's what we just need to say. Make sure your shit works. Mufflers with approved spark arresters are required on all OHVs. Snowmobiles do not require spark arresters. Okay. Here's the video. I guess let's watch it. It's only 30 seconds. Okay, so you gotta run and jump into your
steps that take less than 8 seconds, you've increased your chances of surviving a serious off-highway vehicle-related injury. Taking time to put on your helmet and buckling your seatbelt inside of a UTV will increase your chances of survival. For additional safety tips, visit ohv.utah.gov.
Okay, and you have to then select, I attest that I have watched the video, yes. And as you saw, I watched the video. Okay, yeah, wear your helmets, wear your seatbelts. That seems pretty common sense to me if you're in a Jeep, in a side-by-side. Anything that has those, yeah. And yeah, you should wear a helmet when you're in a side-by-side. It's good practice, because you can still hit your head. I prefer wearing a helmet myself and having the option of a visor or goggles when I'm in a side-by-side. Why? Just for stuff in my eyes and keep it out of my hair, keeps the dust down, you know? Okay, we're at operating an OHV is a challenging activity. Not really, but okay, if they say so. Technical ascents, descents, loose terrain, and tight turns are just some of these challenges. Driving under the influence of alcohol and or drugs significantly impairs your ability to navigate this terrain safely. It is unsafe and illegal to operate an OHV under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Well, yeah, we know that. True or false, alcohol and drugs can impair your ability to operate an OHV safely. Is that seriously a question? I just can't believe that's a question. No, it's not, man. I like being stoned while I'm out there operating a side-by-side. I like taking my Percocet, Oxycontin, smoking a little something or injecting a little something. No, obviously, true. It impairs. Even over-the-counter drugs impair. That's why it says drugs, because that can mean over-the-counter. If aspirin somehow affects your judgment to operate a motor vehicle, you can be charged with that. A DOT-approved helmet is considered the most important piece of safety equipment that one can wear while riding an OHV. Safety is the #1 priority of the Utah Highway Vehicle Program. Every year, there are an estimated 1,800 off-highway vehicle accidents. Wearing a properly fitted and fastened DOT-approved helmet for motor vehicle use and a seatbelt, if equipped, can save your life. Utah law requires anyone under 18 years old to wear a helmet on an ATV, snowmobile, or motorcycle. Yeah, okay, I'm an adult. That applied to me. But you need to know that for your kid. Well, she doesn't like. She doesn't like. But I guess it's good to know. If I was there and she's a passenger, she still has to wear a helmet. I guess that's good to know. Parents, show your kids how much you love them and wear one too. Whether you ride on snow, sand, dirt, or rock, put a lid on it. What ages required to wear a DOT-approved helmet on an ATV off-highway vehicle? Under 18 years of age, under 16 years of age, a helmet is not required. A helmet is not required if you have a driver's license. They gave you the answer right here. Okay. I can't believe these questions. Operating OHVs in Utah's varied terrain can be challenging. It is important to get the safety equipment for your OHV ride. Okay. The most important piece of safety equipment is protecting your head. Oh, we're going to go on about helmets still. A DOT-approved helmet may save your life. Yeah, we know that. What is considered the most important piece of safety equipment to use while riding on off-highway vehicle. Gloves, boots, goggles, helmet, chest protector. Well, they just told you, helmet. And if you need a double check for some reason, you can go back up here and say, the most important piece of safety equipment is protecting your head. So, helmet. Oh, this is fun. It's so stupid. Let's see. To help ensure the safety of all riders, Utah law allows anyone under 18 years of age to operate an OHV on public land if they are able to reach and operate each control necessary to safely operate the off-highway vehicle and have in their possession a youth OHV education certificate and under direct adult supervision. The youth OHV certification covers all-terrain vehicles, ATVs, Type 1, I don't even know what that means, off-highway motorcycles, OHMs, okay, and utility terrain vehicles, UTVs, Type 2, and Type 3. I don't know the difference there. I have no idea, nor do I care. A separate youth snowmobile education course meets the youth certification requirements for snowmobiles. Oh, so they got two different courses. They have to do one for snowmobile too. These youth education classes help keep you safe by teaching necessary skills to operate OHVs safely. In order for kids under the age of 18 to obtain a Youth OHV certificate and legally operate an OHV, they must meet what requirements? Youth riders can only operate OHVs with a driver's license. Youth riders must be at least 8 years of age. Youth riders must be able to easily, comfortably, and safely reach all OHV controls. A parent guardian must operate the OHV for them. Well, in order for the kids under 18 legally, out of these questions, it's going to be youth riders must be able to easily, comfortably, and safely reach the controls, which was able to reach and operate each control necessary to safely operate the off-highway vehicle. And then it went into a bunch of other stuff that didn't really matter. Practice fire safety. Spark arresters are required on all off-highway vehicle OHV and all-terrain vehicles ATV. Don't park a hot car or other machines in dry grasses when even pulling over on the side of the road. Yeah, I think most people should know that, but I know they don't. But that is common sense. Know where you're parking, right? True or false? A spark arrestor is not required piece of equipment on an OHV. False. It is required. Oh boy. While riding on designated routes, it is important to notify other oncoming users how many OHVs are in your group. Each operator is responsible to signal how many are following behind them. If one other OHV in your group is following, the lead OHV should signal with their hand and hold up one finger. The rear OHV operator should signal with a full closed fist that they are the last in the group. Now, before I get into the questions here, this is kind of a thing that you do when it's safe to do so. Some people are like, oh my God, they didn't. Well, was it safe for us? So, like, because I ride dirt bikes mostly, right? Or dual sport bikes. When we see our groups, if I'm coming down something steep or I'm going over something rocky, I might not be able to hold up my hand and say two more behind me. Or if I'm the last one, I might not be. I'll try to the best I can. I'll usually, we're usually going slow enough because you're passing on a tight trail, right? You're not hauling ass by. I usually I'll yell out if I can, and I think that works better because the person will usually acknowledge back, right? You're talking to them. You're not just giving. I guess if you were going quick, the hand signals really is only method, right? They're not going to hear you. But in the situations I can recount, it's usually you're going really slow. So it's like two more behind me. It's easier than taking my hands off a dirt bike control. Now, if you're in a side-by-side, it's easier. Usually they pull over for us, and I've operated side-by-sides, and I'll just pull over for whoever, and I'll let them just do whatever they're going to do as they go by. And, I'll say no more. I'll give the fist, right? Because I'm the driver. Because I can do that. I can have one hand on the wheel, just like a car, briefly. Where on a motorcycle, you're not always. So just remember that. And it'd probably be the same for an ATV too, because you have bars. It might not be safe for you to actually take your hands off the bar. So safety comes first. Just remember that, people. It's not that consequential that you let somebody know. People get really hung up about that. When it's public trails, and it's so funny. I'll give like the hand, and then there's like three riders that are faster than my group, and they come up hauling butt, and well, no, there's three more. You should, just because somebody gives you that that group's the last one, doesn't mean there's a whole completely another group when you're on public trails. So if it's a crowded area, know your days. That parking lot's busy, say here in Colorado, at Rainbow Falls, Rampart Range. Giving the signals is pointless because there's other people on the trail. Just because somebody gives the fist doesn't mean you take off like it's a race course. It's not a race course. It's public trails, and you should know that. And to avoid head-ons and what have you, you shouldn't be treating it like a race course. If you want a track, go out to the track. Anyways, that's my rant there. Like I said, I'm going to be commenting on these, so it's going to take longer than the 30 minutes. Probably going to take an hour here. But that's okay. It's my video. So, while riding on designated route, you pass other oncoming trail users. You are the lead OHV in a group of 3 OHVs. What is the proper way to signal how many OHV? Oh God, see, I hate these questions. It says group of 3, so I'm assuming I'm the third one, so there's 2 more behind me, right? So I would give 2. Because it says a group of 3. Oh, 3 others. Okay, so I'm the 4th. See, words matter. So first reading, group of 3. Well, if I'm part of that group, then that's 2. No, others, 3 others. So okay, there's 4 of us in a group. I'm the lead one. You give up the 3. Yell out, you have 3. Actually, yeah, you should probably, even if you do the hand signal, you probably should do the hand signal and say 3 more. I've done that. I talk too. I have a vocabulary. Unless you're a mute or something, you should be able to talk. And, like I said, usually you're going slow. You're not going fast. Yell out, you have 3. No, that would be no for them. Wave at them. Hi. People do that, and then that's I just stop doing it typically because a lot of people will wave. It's pointless. Give them a thumbs up. Signal with one hand, holding the corresponding amount of fingers for the amount of riders behind you. Oh, I love how they made it generic, just in case somebody did read that, like I did quickly, and say, well, if you're a group of 3, then it's 2. Well, it doesn't matter. That's the answer. It's whatever's behind you. Oh, it's fun, by the way. Another point, when we've had like 20 people meet up and we're doing more of a dual sport ride, but we still go through some ATV trails here in Colorado, and when you have like 20 people and you're like flashing that, they're probably thinking like stop or something, but no, 5, 10, 15, 20, there's a couple more, whatever. They'll figure it out. That's what they'll figure it out at that point. There's a lot of people. We don't tend to do that normally. That's for special events, where you're riding through areas and the person, oncoming, because you slow down. You always slow down. I've never had somebody where you just whiz by, but slow down. And it's like, I usually just say, start doing that. I'm like, there's a lot of us. They'll get the picture really quick. It is important to stay on designated roads and trails. Navigating off trail can cause long-term damage to the environment. Don't make trails wider than they already are. Obstacles can be part of the fun. If we keep everyone on the roads and trails, we can keep these areas as natural as possible, along with protecting our access for future generations. I do agree with that. I do agree with that in general principles. So let's watch the video.
We are very privileged to have our public land system, and with that privilege comes responsibility and stewardship.
It's the thrill of being out there and being outdoors, and the beauty that's around you is amazing.
Okay, here we go. Tips.
It's very important to stay on the trail or on the road. We have very unique biological soil crust, and any impact that we have on that creates these really long-term damages. And being very careful to let people pass in a way where you're not creating resource damage beyond the road is critical in an area like this. Don't make trails any wider than they already are. Remember that obstacles are part of the fun. Don't widen the trail by going around those obstacles.
Okay. In this example, it's hard to say either or, because a lot of obstacles, especially if they're really harder, have multiple ways. They have the hard way, the extreme route, and then they have the easy bypass, if you will, go around route. I see nothing actually wrong with having go arounds for harder obstacles. So in this picture, I wouldn't be able to tell, well, hey, I don't know what trail this is, but if I could tell, like, what is going around that big of a deal here? I mean, if they want to close that off, also, they're going to have to close it off, right? Because that's already been established as, I would say, a go around. And sometimes when these trails are first put in, I've seen this when new trails are put in as being part of, various groups. The new trails put in, and this goes for single track, ATV trails, doesn't matter, Jeep trails. When it's put in, here's the flagging, here's the kind of the trail they made, but users quickly find, like, well, this works better than that, and they don't use that. So that becomes kind of abandoned, starts overgrown over there. Because why did you need that, like, crazy switchback? And I don't mean going up a hill, just like on flat. Why did you need that there when this little dip was nothing, and you just go down the dip and so people start doing that. I'm kind of a stickler until that R spot gets burned in. Then I'm like, okay, I'll use that. And then I've watched those other areas over like 3, 4, 5 years. They are just abandoned. Like, you can't even tell unless you knew how the trail was originally routed that they're there. Of course, this is desert area, so it is a little more easier due to their soil type and terrain type. But this video here is kind of funny, really, because I don't know. I don't see that as a big deal.
Travel slowly, obeying speed limits.
But I guess they're trying to get the point across. The main point would have been, which I guess you doing for a video would have been a no-no, unless they went to a private area just to show what not to do. What not to do would be, here's the main trail. It's never been touched over here, and you also only just go way over here for whatever reason because the little obstacle scared you. Like, then why are you out there? That I agree with. Like, don't go burning a new trail around something when everyone and their brother is able to get up that. It's not a big deal, Why are you out there if that worries you? If that one spot worries you, then you probably shouldn't be out there.
Limits and avoid high banking. Anytime that we are not driving directly in the middle of the trail, we're creating this phenomenon called high banking. So we're actually digging down where the road goes, and we have high banks on the side.
So now they're saying that this, which has been there forever, because I've been going out of Moab for a long time, and these trails haven't really changed that much. So now they're saying, like, that has, like, that's a no-no. Well, sometimes these get created not because you're like, I'm riding the bank. They get created because, like Moab, for example, it's a busy place. You'll get two-way traffic. You get people stopping and then you take a pee break, a rest, whatever. And these areas over time probably got created, probably over 50 years got created. They're not really expanding beyond that. Now, I go out there year after year, multiple times even, and areas aren't like expanding out in these Jeep. I don't know, maybe this is just a bad example what they're trying to get across. I don't see a big deal here, but okay.
It really is a huge problem, and it causes permanent damage. Nobody wants to see fences out there, but in order for us to protect plant life, there's areas where we've had to install fences. If we can keep people on trail and on the roads, then we can keep these areas as natural as possible.
I would say, like, going down something like that, most people are going to stay that road, that trail. They're not going to go just boondocking it through sagebrush. Most people aren't going to do that. I would say majority of people are not going to do that. I guess most would be the same word, but I would say such a high, no one's going along and just going, I'm going to go left right here. That usually does not occur.
When you are hiking, practice leave no trace. Travel on durable surfaces like rocks or in dry washes where you're not going to step on vegetation. Those small impacts that we have do have bigger consequences.
People have been around for a very long time on this planet, this time as far as human history. And not a long time in terms of the planet and galaxy and universe and all that, but a long time for human history. All the humans that were walking through willy-nilly, natives and stuff, did they cause long-term harm? Or are there just too many of us now? Possibly.
Small impacts like damaging our soil crust can hurt the ecosystem and degrade the scenic value that these areas have.
You have to be curious. When you're going up some of those steep hills, you have to look ahead and see if anybody's coming down first, because you don't want to bunt in the middle, especially on some of these steep grades.
Be respectful for other people. You're driving, you come up on somebody, you slow way down, you don't dust them out, you tell them how many's behind you.
Up at Sandflats, our trails have shared user groups.
Sandflats is, we'll see what she has to say, but as you see here, yeah, shared user groups. I have never had a conflict with mountain bikers or anybody out there. All the times I've ridden the Sandflats, Slick Rock. I'm trying to think of the trail. Slick Rock. Every time I've ridden Slick Rock, Hill's Revenge, Fins and Things, Porcupine Rim, Porcupine 4x4, I've never had any conflict with other trail users. Everyone's been polite. So I usually, when I hear somebody complain, like, somebody yelled at me, well, what were you doing? You know, I've never had that experience out there. But people say, oh yeah, those bicycles and stuff. It's like, I've never had an issue with them. I slow down and I go way around. It's Slick Rock. She's probably going to say, stay right to that Slick Rock trail. Stay right to where it's kind of black. You know, like, well, no, if I can go around somebody, it's a rock, God's sakes. It's not being harmed.
All of the users need to share these trails. We want to follow the speed limits. We want to pass each other.
Speed limits? There are no speed limits on these trails. Speed limits, it's, driving at a reasonable, for your skill level and stuff. Yeah, there's no speed limits.
Courteously, motorized users yield to non-motorized users. And so we just need to think of all of the users and working together, because it's all of our public lands and it's here for everyone to enjoy.
We want to make sure that stays beautiful for not just our own enjoyment, but for that of future generations. And it's an incredible place to come visit, and it's our responsibility to keep it that beautiful.
Okay, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. In the ideal world, this is what you want to do. Okay, I can't fault them for that, right? Next. We're only on question 7. Oh my god. Reacting to these is going to be a long video, like I said. OHV use can be so much fun. We all have a responsibility to make sure this fun activity remains responsible, and respectful. It is important to be mindful of and respect private property, signs, fences, and gates. Permission is needed to access any privately owned land. Never obstruct the entrance or exit of private property. Respect posted signs, gates, and fences. It is up to you to know what trails you can ride on legally. Man, if I was a private property owner, somebody obstructed my gate and they rode on off on their dirt bikes or side by side or whatever, oh, I would have so much fun taking my, because probably in a ranching area or something, I'm going to be taking my truck, my dually, and I'm going to be yanking that thing down the road to a new parking spot. And when they come back, and they're like, well, how's it move? Well, you'll be scratching your head. Who are you going to tell? I don't know who moved it. You tell me? If it got damaged, oh well. As a property owner, I would love for that to happen. That would just be a fun part of my day. An OHV operator may not operate an OHV on privately owned land of any other person, firm, or corporation without permission from the owner or person in charge. I would agree. Let's see what. Obstruct an entrance or exit to private property without the owner's permission. Well, that would also go there. Select one. I'm like, tear down, mutilate, or destroy any sign, signboards, or other notes which regulates trespassing for purposes of operating a motor vehicle. I would agree too. Operator may not tear down, deface, destroy any fence, enclosure, gates, or my eyes skipped down here, all the above. So I'm like, well, it's all the above. Yes, they may not do any of that. That's pretty spot on. Okay. Utah OHV trails and roads are designed for a variety of user opportunities and machine types. Single track trails are often shared between hikers, mountain bikers, horseback riders, and off-highway motorcycles. Some trails are designated with 50-inch width restrictions for ATVs and smaller machines. Trails may be managed for novice riders or designed to be more challenging for advanced riders. Trail designations may limit machine size for a variety of reasons, including terrain restrictions where larger vehicles cannot safely pass, trail restrictions to protect sensitive resource, plant, and wildlife, or designated roadless areas that allow for narrower trails but not wider roads. Violating trail restrictions may lead a land manager to close trails to motorized use. Plan ahead and find trail routes that are suitable for your machine. For the safety and to protect our trail access, heed trail width restrictions and designated trail uses without or when out on the trail. You are on a ride with friends. You have 62-inch wide side-by-side and come to a gate with a sign that says, trail open to vehicles 50-inch or less in width. What are appropriate actions you should take? Well, I can tell you this can be stupid. Find another route to ride, as your machine does not meet the posted requirements. Yes, that's what you should do. Go around the gate. That's not what you should do. Pretty clear. Remove the gate so you fit through. Like, no, don't do that. Cut trees down to make it easier to go around. Oh my God. It's sad that there are people out there that are going to actually select go around the gate. Okay, we know it's find another route. Utah has an estimated 80,000 miles of public trails designated for OHV use. It is your responsibility to know where you can legally ride before you go out on your adventure. Check with your local land managing agency for open trail use. Remember, ride on designated routes. All trails are considered closed unless posted by a sign or map. Yeah, that goes back to they redefined it for the Forest Service and I think even the Bureau of Land Management, where if you have an old map that shows a trail, legally speaking, if you pull it out, ranger's like, hey, why are you riding here, blah, 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 and you pull it out and you're like, I'm right on this trail, he's going to say, that map doesn't matter. It's what's on the sign. Did you go around a sign? If the sign's not there, then I guess you probably get off because of you do have a map that shows, well, at one time it looks like a trail. If it clearly doesn't look like a trail, you shouldn't be there. If it's but yeah, if he points to a sign, like, no, it's smart. You have to go by what the sign says. It's kind of screwy, right? Because there are older maps out there, and it makes it hard. Which means somebody's going to tell me, oh, go get a new map. Yep, ideally, you should. Where may you operate your off-highway vehicles in Utah? Anywhere a machine can take me. Yeah! Designated wilderness areas. Oh, yeah! Those are fun, man. You want to see some angry people? Mm-hmm. I'm kidding. Interstate freeways? I don't know. Some of those huge turbo side-by-sides, man, they can go as fast as cars. Why not? Areas, roads, and trails posted open by a sign and controlling agency mapping resource. Where may you operate your off? Well, no, you can't say all of the above. Areas, roads, and trails posted by sign and controlled agency mapping resource. That's the one I would go with. The trails we ride on can have some amazing views. Cross-country travels when you operate off of a designated trail system. Operating a motor vehicle cross-country on the public land not designated for that use by the controlling agency is against Utah law. Punishment for violations of this law require community service to repair damage caused by the operator. We need to keep these views amazing by riding on designated trail systems. When we ride off trail, even a little, the damage to the environment can be long lasting. Driving off trail can impact plant life, wildlife habitat, and cryotibiotic soil. That's that special soil. I'm saying it wrong, but whatever. So it's important to stay on the trail. Users of the public trails are the stewards of the land, and we must protect it at all times. True or false? An owner of an OHV may not operate or give permission to operate cross-country on public lands not designated for that use. True. Okay. I'm double reading it just to make sure. I'm bad at, or I'm always thinking they're trying to trick me. I had a bad teacher in high school that he actually did that. He purposely make it so he was tricking you on the question. So ever since, I'm like so leery on what I like check. Having the right trail information is the best practice when you plan your OHV ride. We have many land managing agencies that provide OHV recreation. All these entities can provide trail information and mapping resources for your OHV ride. Which of these agencies can provide information on where you can ride your OHV vehicles in the state of Utah? Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, I would assume. I don't know Utah. City, or I'm assuming all the above there. Good luck trying to get a hold of your city or county government on that, unless it's like, the counties for Moab, that type of area. Like Salt Lake City, yeah, good luck trying to contact that type of government agency. You're best to look at a map and see if it's Forest Service or Bureau of Land Management, right? And I'm guessing these would be like state lands. Okay, tread lightly. Tread lightly leads a national initiative to protect and enhance off-highway vehicle OHV recreation access and opportunities by promoting outdoor ethics. As OHV users, our riders' behavior actions can have a big impact on the trails and even impact decisions to keep trails open for OHV use. Following tread lightly principles helps motorized users minimize the impact of OHV use and helps to develop a sense of good trail citizenship. Our goal is to balance the needs of the people who enjoy outdoor recreation with the need to protect natural resources. We do this by following these tread principles. Travel responsibly. Respect the rights of others. Educate yourself. Avoid sensitive areas. Do your part. Practice the tread lightly principles to protect the trails and access to them. Oh, 3 minutes.
Tread Lightly is an outdoor ethics education organization. We're designed to maintain public access through education and stewardship. So mostly for motorized trails, we want to advocate for public land access and the road systems that give us that access. So one of the ways that we tell people and teach people about our ethics and how to be responsible in public lands is the TREAD principles. TREAD is an acronym. It stands for travel responsibly, respect the rights of others, educate yourself, avoid sensitive areas, and do your part. If people practice those principles, you'll have better opportunities to recreate in public lands and more beautiful places to enjoy. A great example of traveling responsibly is taking a map with you that shows the designated routes and make sure that you're on those routes. You can do that with your GPS, or there's a number of apps that'll kind of help you do.
I'm going to stop there. So maps. I'm glad he said GPS, and there's a number of maps that you can use. But if you get a United States Forest Service map, for example, or a map from the BLM, Bureau of Land Management, it sucks. It doesn't really show you boundaries. It will just like show, here's the trail. Then it will be cut out, not show anything, and it will show the trail over here. Oh, well, it goes through private. It's very confusing, a lot of their maps, at least here in Colorado. I haven't really taken a look too closely at the Utah ones, but the motor vehicle use maps are shit. So I would recommend Utah get on board with like Colorado did, or pay Colorado to manage your GIS files, your shape files that show the trails. See, I know too much about this because I had a startup company that we mapped in video trail systems. But contract with like Colorado, who already has an app that shows our state, and show your state. That way I have good software right on my phone, because we all have a computer in our pocket, a smartphone, and a free app called Cotrex here in Colorado, and I can look up singletrack, I can look up 50-inch hiking trails, whatever. I can see these public trails, and I can go ride those trails, and then because it's showing me on the map where I'm at, I know exactly where I'm at. Oh, up here I can go to the right because, hey, that goes back there. That might be neat. You'll actually find new areas to recreate because you have a map in your hands. Whereas if you didn't have that live map, you're going off some paper map, you're trying to figure out exactly where you're at. Did I pass this spot? Didn't I pass this spot? Why is the map not showing me this section, but it shows me around it? Crazy stuff like that. I mean, Utah needs to get on board with a system like that, or Colorado already has it. Tax money's paid for it. Why not reach out to Colorado and say, hey, Colorado, you have this system. How much for you to, we'll give you the stuff. You work with our GIS department or departments, and you upload these trails, and we'll pay you to manage that. We'll pay you to host that stuff, so we don't have to develop it and not have two systems going. Why? I've said that for a long time. Colorado needs to really be working with these neighboring states and get those maps on board and controlling that and making money from it and paying for us to have it. Just saying. But anyways,
do that.
Maps.
Also, make sure you're safe, right? So we want to have a helmet. Make sure your riders have it too.
Yes, you should.
So
have
when we're
helmets,
respecting the rights of others, which is the second TREAD principle, we want to just understand that these are mixed-use public lands, and there's a lot of people out here that are enjoying their type of recreation. Slow down when you're going through camps. That's a big one. If you're in a motorized vehicle, a smile goes a long way as well. Don't forget to smile. I feel like a lot of times people are kind of in their own minds, and look up and wave to people, and make sure that you are that ambassador that we talk about when you're out there doing whatever it is that you like.
I agree with that. Be nice. Wear helmets.
Educate yourself about the capabilities of your vehicle, about the places that you're riding in, and about some of the safety gear and things that you need to make sure that you come home safe.
I agree.
You get stuck, this is on some.
Well, you know what? I
Stock
don't want
setup,
the
and you
music.
have a long wheelbase. It's easy to get high centered on things. So go with a buddy and have some toe points and some straps so you can get out of places.
They're making it so it's hard for me to put this video on YouTube because they're playing some damn music. You're just supposed to be educating us, not.
Out here in the West, we have a lot of sensitive habitats like cryptobiotic soil. It's real important that we're aware of what that is. Avoid those places the best you can. By doing that, that maintains our trail access through those places that have sensitive habitat.
I agree.
All right, guys.
So many places don't have that soil, so that's something I can see somebody taking away from this and being like, oh, I didn't know that. Now I do.
Do your part. This is the last of the tread principles. Grab your trash bag, take a minute, pick up some of the trash that you see out here, and trust me, that goes a long way.
Yeah, doing your part, help maintain, help pick up any trash you see. Yep, not a problem. It's hard to do that on a dirt bike. I mean, you can pick up a few things. You're not picking up much. Maybe at your trailer if you're trailering out.
Public lands at treadlightly.org. Remember to follow the tread principles. Travel responsibly, respect the rights of others, educate yourself, avoid sensitive areas, and do your part. We'll all continue to have public land access for years to come.
Okay, this is nothing new, so I've seen that. That's just your standard stuff. Okay, yeah. I know about that video. The easiest way to protect access to trails is by staying on them. Not all OHVs are allowed on every trail. Make sure you know if your OHV is allowed on the trail you want to use. Check the width restrictions. Use maps of the trail so you know you are on a trail designated for OHV use. Go over, not around obstacles, including puddles of water, to avoid winding the trail. While it may seem counterintuitive to drive through a puddle or over a down log instead of driving around them, the trail winding that occurs from driving around magnifies the impact and damage to the trail. Also, make sure to wear the appropriate safety gear so you get home safely. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. In theory, this all makes sense. I say you have to take it by case. Say I'm by myself on a dirt bike. I don't know how big that Jeep puddle is. I might go around it. Why? Because it could swallow my motorcycle and I flood it and then I'm stuck out there by myself. To me, your safety always supersedes any of this bullshit. And it's not bullshit, but you know what I mean. Your safety comes first. Yes, you should try going over obstacles. I agree with that. You have to be careful with puddles of water, especially when you're a motorbike. Like a Jeep, a ATV side, but they have reverse gears. They can kind of pull in, wash their tires. If it gets too deep, they can back out. Whereas on a motorcycle, you're going in. To reverse is really difficult. It means you get off. You have to, and if it is deep, then you're screwed, right? It becomes a danger to you. Going over a tree depends. Are you by yourself? Did the tree just fall down? What way's the shortest way out? Are you on a big long ride? I've done big long rides. Are you on a big long ride and you're 60 miles in? You have 80 miles of fuel. So the shortest way is actually to be safe because of your fuel calculation is to go around that big tree that's down or drag your bike over, whatever you can do. Sometimes there's branches you can't drag over, but whatever. But if it's an area you can go around because it's your safety first. You go around in a respectful manner, meaning you don't need a wide open to go around. You can go. Boom, boom, boom. I've looked at areas where I've had to go around, and I'm like, you can't even tell I went around because I did it respectfully. There's ways to do things where you're not going to even know somebody went around. It's the guy that gets out there and they're just like, oh, I got to go slightly up this little hill to get around this tree, and they're just wide open because they don't know how to go pop, and just work the clutch and go around. Because you can't always go over, because if there's branches all everywhere like spears, yeah, you're not getting over. And we don't always. I carry a saw a lot of times. I don't always, and a tree can just blow over, at least here in Colorado. Moab, where I go, that's not going to be a big concern for the areas I ride in Utah, but this is covering all of Utah, and Utah does have wooded areas. But anyways, why sort of go over obstacle, the trail winding that occurs from driving around magnifies the impact and damage to the trail. Also, make sure to wear the appropriate safety gear so you get home safely. They keep wanting to add that in there, don't they? Why should you not go around puddles of water on a trail? It causes trail winding. It can damage your OHV. It slows down your trip. There is nothing wrong with traveling around water on a trail. Obviously, they don't want any of those. And in principle, I do agree. But if I don't know how deep that puddle is, I am not going through it. I'm sorry. I'm going to skirt as close to the water as I can. I'm not going to go way off or anything. I'm going to go, to the edge and go around. I am not going through something because some areas, and this is where, I don't know, maybe Utah is different in this regard, but okay, I went to Alabama and rode once. It's private property, but I rode, and I asked the guy I was with, why don't you ride the ATV trails? I wanted to map everything, including ATV trails. He goes, well, because the ATV side-by-sides create these huge, deep puddles, and you don't know how deep they are. And we kind of started riding because I insisted I wanted to ride some of those trails too, just to see. And they were horrible. And he was right. They were unknowingly deep. I mean, when you think it might be this little puddle that's shallow and your front end is like 2 feet down, you're like, whoa, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, and there's puddles that are bigger that could swallow the whole bike. No. So you got people coming from all over that have different perspective. Yeah, and you might say, well, that's private land, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry. I have seen this same thing occur on public lands too, where because of the Jeeps, because of the side-by-side, and I'm not knocking, I'm just saying it's the fact of how heavy they are, the puddle gets big. As a dirt bike, dual sport rider, adventure rider, I am going to probably skirt around it. I'm not going to go way off. I'm just going to, skirt around it. I don't see anything wrong with that personally. Let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, your safety comes first over any of this damn stuff. It comes first. Your safety always comes first, especially if you're by yourself. And a lot of us ride as lone wolves. You can go around stuff respectfully and not even leave a print. And no one ever knew you went around. On mixed-use public lands, there are a lot of people using the trails and a lot of different types of recreation happening. User conflict can create... Oh, shit. No, don't. I'm still doing it. I guess I have to be a little bit quicker. Okay, let's just see. You may encounter gates while riding OHVs, no trespassing, boundaries. The herd may desire the gate to be left open and encourage that. This is talking about ranchers and stuff, gates. If you come across the gate, leave it open. If you come across one, close it. If it's closed and you open it and go through, close it. Okay. While operating OHV, is it important to be respectful of private and public property? When legally passing through a gate on trail, you should close the gate even though it was open when you found it. No, don't do that. Leave the gate open for others to access the trail easier even though it was closed. No, don't do that. Cut it down so you can pass through. No, don't do that. Leave the gate in the condition you found it, open or closed. Just do that. Utah is a unique state with different types of ecosystem and habitats, from dry desert to alpine forest. I mainly ride in Moab, so yeah. Meadows, lake, shores, wetlands, streams. These areas may be considered roadless designations. Please respect the width restrictions in these certain areas. True or false? Riders should avoid driving in sensitive areas. True. Tread lightly by knowing the laws and regulations of the different areas you are riding and taking skill courses. And taking skill courses? Okay, they want you to take courses. Vehicles are allowed in one area may not be allowed in another. Okay, they can go in one, they can't go in another. Make sure you know your limitations and limits manufacturer of your OHV. Okay, yes or no, you can ride your OHV in area designated as wilderness. No. They do all this and it's pretty clear. I mean, let's see if I just answer true or false. As a trail user, helping take care of trail is part of your responsibility. True. Obtain a blank so you know where you can ride. Map or reliable electronic mapping services or app. Compass, flashlight. They want a map. In the old days, it would be probably compass. Pack it in, pack it out. Oh, we all know what this is going to be. This is, you know, if you take it in there, take it out. You're trash. So we'll quickly read it. Trash, toilet paper, dog and human waste. Keep our trails clean, healthy, and litter free. Pack it in, pack it out. I'll tell you what though, as a person that has bowel problems, I'm not packing out diarrhea. I tend to have issues. So yeah, that ain't gonna occur. I'm digging a hole and it's going in it.
Anytime you're traveling in a natural area, you want to leave what you find, but also take out everything that you brought in with you. Things like human waste and all of your trash need to be packed out.
Do we make animals pack out their waste? I mean, after all, cows shit wherever they want. Horses, donkeys, mountain lions, bears, elk. I mean, we are an animal. We are part of nature, but we're afraid of shit. I don't know. It's a weird thing. And yeah, humans typically will dig a hole and bury their shit. That's better than my dog does. My dog will just poop in the middle of the road if you left it up to him.
When you leave an area like this, so that we can keep the pristine value of the land.
Even if you're driving by and you see somebody else's soda can that they left on the side of the trail, it'll take you 2 seconds to stop, pick it up, throw it in your cooler. That way we can keep our trails clean.
Well, it might have bounced out of their side-by-side or something. That's one good thing with a dirt biker. Not to knock you side-by-siders again or Jeepers, is our stuff usually doesn't just fall out because we have a camelback. It's on our back. We just don't lose trash. So I've actually never seen a rider leave trash, unless it's like some part that broke off their bike, and then we might have to leave it on a tree like a fender or something, because packing out is... But usually, the people I'm with, we find a way to pack it out. Very rarely do you actually leave something.
And keep them beautiful for years to come.
Number one thing you can do is pick up your own garbage and take it out with you. It doesn't hurt to bring an extra bag with you.
And make sure it doesn't bounce out of your side-by-side.
And just carry out all your garbage with you. We got the special soil out here. We got the biocryptic soil, which is awesome. That's what keeps Moab green. We are in a desert, but it does get green, and we want to keep it that way. We want it beautiful and cool. We want our plant life to stay, and we want our animals to stay. You destroy that, and things disappear.
There's nothing worse than to be out in the desert on a beautiful summer day to see the white flowers in bloom, but realize they're not white flowers. The white paper, yeah, it's usually toilet paper or, even worse, baby wipes. And it's a...
See, that's pretty disgusting. If you're going to go poop and you have toilet paper and you're going to use it, dig a hole, people. Dig a hole. That way it's in the hole. Hopefully it's toilet paper, because that probably degrade fairly quick. The baby wipes, not so fast. Don't be using baby wipes out there. That's gross.
big problem that's happening in the backcountry. We need to bring a Ziploc bag or a wag bag and pack all that stuff out. Our bacteria levels in the soils here are next to none, so things don't decompose like they do in the forest or in any other environment. If you bring it into the backcountry, please bring it out.
So hiking with your dog is a big plus. There are a large number of trails to take your dogs on in this area. It's recommended that you take a leash with them and keep your dog in control the whole time. And just like human waste, pack out your dog's waste. At many of the trailheads, there are dog waste bags, but sometimes they're not, so make sure you do have yours. And then don't leave those on the trail. Take them out with you.
That's the thing I hate. If you're not going to take it with you and say, I'm going to get that on the way back, because everyone says, I'm going to get that on the way back, and they don't. And there's all those poo bags. We see that on the Front Range of Colorado Springs out on the trails. There's all these poo bags, and they're there and there and there. They're there for weeks and weeks and weeks, months. I don't know who ends up picking. I don't know who ends up picking. Somebody must come along eventually, whether they're doing it voluntarily or something. But it's disgusting, because it's like you took the time to pick up your dog shit, but you're going to cocoon it in this plastic bag that's now going to sit there forever. Whereas if you were watching your dog, if they were on the leash to begin with, and you're like, oh, my dog needs to go poo, and you dragged them way off the trail and they pooed and you didn't have a bag, at least that is going to go bye-bye here in Colorado, really quickly. It's going to just break down pretty quick. But no, I'm going to bag the shit because they shit in the middle of the trail because I wasn't watching my Fluffy, and now I'm just going to leave on the side of the trail because I don't want to carry it, which I don't fault you for not wanting to carry it, but you should make it a point to pick it back up when you come back through, which most people don't, so then it just looks bad.
So pack it in, pack it out.
Be safe, stay on designated trails, practice proper trail etiquette, and make sure that you pack out your trash when you're recreating on public lands.
Kind of beating a dead horse. They've already
Recreate responsibly, and you'll be sure to have a great experience.
Okay. I'll probably not be able to put this video up anyways because of the music. So next. Oh, by picking up your own garbage as well as others' trash, finally you can help maintain the pristine trails. Yes, we know. How can you make sure you are leaving the trail better than you found it? Pick up your trash as well as others. I would say that one. Stay on designated trails. Leave plants and wildlife alone. Use spill kits for trailside repairs and cleanup. I guess that's for Jeeps and stuff. I don't know what that is. Yes, I will say all the above. What are 2 ways to manage human waste and toilet paper while on the trail? Dig a hole 6 inches. Oh, let's see what they got. And much of digging a hole 6 inches deep and burying your waste in toilet paper is acceptable. See, that's what I've always done. If I had to, I can count on one hand how many times I've had to do that, like twice. So I make sure I don't need to do that. In others, especially Red Rock Desert environments, human waste and toilet paper need to be packed out in solid waste bags. Well, except I don't shit solidly. I haven't since I was young. I have bowel issues, man. I'll admit that. And other people probably out there do too. There is no picking up when I go. So it's there. If I gotta go, I gotta go. It's a splatter fest. Ain't being picked up. It's like a dog having diarrhea. You're not picking that up. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Dig the hole. At least then it's not there, and it will break down. We're part of nature too. You don't see Native American shit from hundreds of years ago still out there in the desert now, do you? Or miners from 1920s or anything back, or 1960s. You don't see shit still hanging around in the desert because people have always had shit. And I guarantee you they probably shit more in the wild then than they do now. Most of us try to shit inside in comfort. It's a first world luxury. It is crucial to know how properly dispose of human waste. So dig also leave the human, and nope, don't do that. Pack out human waste and toilet paper with a portable toilet or waste bag. Let someone else pick up your, well, it says dig a hole 6 inches or less. Or what are 2 ways? Oh, select that. All that are correct. Okay. This is the first one where we get a select. Let's say that one. Yeah. Every city or county has different solid waste disposal regulations. Human waste is a biohazard. Blah, blah, blah. True or false? When traveling to an area, it is important to research proper disposal procedure and drop-off areas for portable toilets on solid waste bags. I've never needed to do that, but I would assume that is true. You should know that ahead of time if that is something you do. I love hotels. Like I said, only gone outside like Probably total, to be honest, probably 4 times. 4 times in 15 years. Number 2. Number 1, who cares? Yeah, people pee wherever. Not packing that up. Is it illegal to litter in a park, recreation area, waterway, or public lands? Yes, it's always illegal to litter. Oh god, another one. Let's see. Yeah, this is about towns and OHV, your front windshield. See, this don't matter to me. I'm on a dirt bike. I tend to travel to the trail. My bikes are all plated legal anyways, but let's see. I'd rather watch the video, but we're gonna have music again. They love their music.
Utah
Driving in town.
in through town, and you can drive directly to trailheads.
It is a privilege to be able to drive.
I don't do this, so I don't.
Insurance or
Clear that many communities 30 of these machines and to visit to maintain the opportunity in small communities.
I know you're gonna hate me. I've seen this stuff. I've been going to Moab forever. Yes, I know about being respectful in town and this and that, but I've never operated side by side in Moab. I don't care to. I don't want to. I'm a plated dirt bike dual sport guy. I can operate that wherever. I can ride all the way to Moab if I wanted. I'm going to operate that like I would any other vehicle. I'm going to be respectful of the town. I'm not going to be loud. I'm not going to be revving my engine. I'm not going to be popping wheelies. I'm going to be following the rules of the road. I think that's all common sense. I mean, OHVs can't be operated on the highway there. You can operate them, I think, just going across the main road. I don't know. My bikes are plated, so I don't need to worry about that. Never have. I don't plan to have a dirt bike or an OHV, so I don't really care. Just be respectful. That's the main point of it, right? Which of the following are some elements required for your OHV to be street legal in Utah? I might want to read this because I don't know what type 1. Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 off-highway vehicles may be modified to become street legal and operate on designated public roadways. Street legal OHVs may have many of the same safety equipment requirements as other motor vehicles on the way. These requirements are to keep user of the roadway safe. Which of the following are some elements required? Don't need that. Street legal registration and license plate. Select all that. Fly. Type 1, Type 3 may be modified, become street legal and operating there. Well, yeah, we would have to have that. A valid driver's license. Insurance to operate, I would assume that. Review mirrors, headlight, turn light, or for side by side, I would say I don't need that by law. I don't need turn signals or review mirror on a motorcycle. So, tail light I do have and a horn I do have. So I would assume that for everybody, if you can. Muffler and emission controls in good working order, which means no cutouts, bypass, or punctures. Well, if we're talking about street stuff, I would agree with that. The only one is the speaker, so no one cares about your damn music. How do I drive my OHV? How do I drive my OHV in town courteously? Obey speed limits. Select all that. Apply again. Drive quickly. No. Reduce sound by avoiding rapid acceleration. I would have guessed that's going to say. Play loud music on screen. Don't want to do that. Be conscious of your route choice. Avoid residential areas, especially at night. Yeah, I would say, yeah. If possible, choose a trailer. If possible, choose to trailer to trailheads. Yeah, I would agree. True or false? Purchase of non-OHV or non-resident OHV permit means I can legally drive on the street and highways. False. Sound, including the frequency and vibration of an OHV, can be heard inside neighbors' homes and bedrooms located near a roadway. Yes, I would assume. And I look up here, OHV penetrates a home's walls and can be heard. Oh yeah, it's like any vehicle, like a big loud diesel truck. You shouldn't be outside idling it in your own neighborhood at 3 in the morning for excessive periods of time because you're warming it up or something, and waking up your neighbors in the process because you don't give a damn. Yeah, you should give a damn. Driving at higher speeds than neighbors is not recommended because it's illegal. It increases the total sound output of the machine, making them louder and disrupt others. That's true. It is unsafe as it increases stop time. Yes, that's true. It is against the law to go over the post. That is true. All the above. The Utah Code states, it is a policy of this state to promote safety and protection for persons, property, and environment connected with the use, operation, and equipment of off-highway vehicles, to promote uniformity of laws, to adopt and pursue a safety. It's like, I know, this course is administrative, blah, blah, blah. This is our partner. Congratulations, if you complete the query, you will have on the next screen to download your course completion certificate. An additional copy or receipt will be sent to the email you provided. Please carry a copy of the certificate while you are riding. So it's another thing you have to pack, and remember to pack. That's a pain in the ass. Because, the ranger ain't going to be able to log into a system out on the trail. So that's a pain in the ass. Come on, Utah. One more thing to remember to pack, and if you don't, you're going to have some ranger breathing down your neck like, well, I did take the course. Well, you don't have your printout. Well, I'm sorry, I jumped on this bike, or I jumped on this bike, or I jumped in this Jeep, or or this was a spur of the moment trip, and I didn't think about this because this is something new. Even 5 years down the road, it's something, you're not going to really think about. To think they could give you a ticket because you didn't take this free class, which was all just stupid. In my opinion, it's just a waste of time. Did it teach you anything? I don't know. I mean, if you spent no time in Utah, maybe like the soil and stuff, but it's pretty common sense, and it's in theory all the same stuff from Colorado to Utah to probably even back east. I would say those are the people that probably don't know as much, but if they've been coming year after year, they probably do. I don't think we give them credit. I think when you have issues, you're going to still have issues, whether a person took this or not. There's just people out there that just don't give a shit 100%. They're going to go where they want to go. They're going to go leave a pile of shit on a rock because they do. Are hikers having to take this? Because a lot of issues are hikers taking a fucking poop on the middle of a rock. I see that occurs more than a OHVer going shit on a rock. So are mountain bikers taking this? Are hikers taking this? They shouldn't they? Shouldn't all the trail users, equestrian, snowmobilers, everybody, shouldn't everybody be taking this? Well, I guess snowmobilers have their own, but you get my point. Equestrian, mountain bikers, hikers, they should be taking this too. See, that's the thing. A lot of those groups do things that cause harm. Why aren't they taking this type of test, or one catered more towards their activity of hiking, or one catered towards equestrian out there horseback riding? Why aren't they taking something that's catered to them so they can go use trail and have it carry around this silly piece of paper? Why is it OHVs that are considered damaging the trails when a lot of these trails have been around forever at this point? And even more, you could consider old trails that maybe aren't legal anymore or were for mineral exploration and what have you, and they're out there, there's structures built out there, and those areas are doing just fine, but we want to act like somehow motorized recreation is like this big widespread problem and it causes harm to the environment. No, not really. Mother Earth is going to take care of Mother Earth, and it's going to repair itself, and it's going to be fine at the end. When humans all die, it's all still going to be fine. The Earth will be here. The Earth will be here. What is it? A few billion years? When is the end date of the Earth? At some point, our sun as it's expanding, turns into, is it a red dwarf, and swallows the Earth. But way before then, the Earth, as it's expanding, there's going to be a point where the Earth becomes inhabitable, blah, blah, blah. But you won't, the Earth, you won't be able to have it. Man, I'm getting my words confused now because I'm ranting. But you won't be able to live on Earth, not just humans, all species, because it's going to be too higher, and it's not be from climate change. It's because climate naturally changing because the sun's expanding out and the Earth is here, and as that expands, it's going to get hotter and hotter. As it expands, it's going to take a long time, but in the end, the Earth is gone. In the end of humans, the Earth is going to be here a long time until it's gone. So I don't know. You know, yes, I don't want to destroy what's out there. I want people to see. I just think there's a lot of hype, and seems to be environmentalists angry against motorized users versus saying, you know, everyone should be taking some sort of catered class. And that's where I'm against that. We're supposed to take this. We're supposed to carry around a piece of paper. But how about those mountain bikers, hikers, and equestrian? How about them? Why don't they have to do a free course tailored to their activity? Yeah, because I see them shitting on rocks. Hikers are kind of, some of them are pretty, and it goes to the person, not the activity. There's a lot of disgusting people in every activity, and there's a lot of disgusting hikers, equestrian users out there, and they also should be taking a course and learning about their soils, and that you have to pack in what you pack out, or you have to pack out what you pack in, and etc. Anyways, that's it. It's been long enough. Y'all take care. This is what to expect from the OHV Gov site. Y'all stay well, stay safe, my friends. Have a good one.